Hey everyone, SweetJohnnyCage here, back with another guide for Resident Evil 2 Remake. This time it's to show you how to defeat G Stage 3 with Leon on hardcore difficulty. This strategy will also translate over to assisted and standard difficulties, but hardcore is insane, so I figured I'd show you that one. As you can tell by my inventory, I came into this fight very strapped. I don't have a ton of ammo, although there is a decent amount in the room, and I also came into this fight on danger health because I have no green herbs and no first aid sprays left. I was pretty desperate by the end of this game, so I got very good at this fight. The general strategy to defeat Stage 3G is to blow up all the eyes on his body. He's got one on his back, the one on his shoulder that he's always had, and now he has one on his leg. Once you blow up all three, he will get to his knees, and then his chest will open up, exposing a bunch of little eyes. So that's the general idea for the first phase of the fight. There is a decent amount of ammunition around the room, and there may be even more on lower difficulties. On hardcore, you get a lot of 9mm bullets, you get one tank of fuel, a couple of magnum rounds, a regular grenade, and a flash grenade, and then it appears as if the 9mm bullets will keep spawning. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I could have sworn I picked up a couple of them twice. But, as you can see here, once he opens up his chest, just lay into him with your shotgun. It's like the highest DPS weapon, especially close range, so just unload into him. Unfortunately, on hardcore, you don't get any more shells. But once you do that, he will sort of stand back up and stagger around, so now's a good time to go around and pick up all the ammo that's available to you. So, as you can see, my inventory is pretty slim. It's slim pickings in there. I do have, and I do recommend using your red and blue herbs to give yourself some protection, even if you don't have any green herbs left. I know I didn't, but I had a ton of red and blue left over. If you have green, mix them in there, so you basically get like the best healing item in the game. But I will describe his attacks now that you've seen what happens. So he has this giant leap, and if you have those sub-weapons, you can stagger him and get up. You don't have a lot of time to deal damage to him after this, so I don't really recommend it. I kind of recommend running away. I was very frustrated with this fight because it took me like an hour, so I was just sort of laying into him at this point. But with that said, after you deal enough damage to his eyes the first time and expose his chest, he will take a ton more damage before the next set of eyes explode. So getting into the attacks that he actually does, he has a huge overhead slam with his right arm. The easiest way to avoid that is to just move under his right arm. He's relatively slow. He doesn't really have many fast attacks, maybe just one. But he can also pick up these fuel canisters. If he still has the eye on his back, that is your chance to make that one explode. And if you do while he is grabbing that tanker, it'll explode and do a little bit of damage to him. He also has that giant leap there. The best way to avoid that is to just run into him. If you have a sub-weapon, just throw it when you can, when he has you pinned down. But you have a good chance of actually just completely avoiding him. The general strategy for this boss is to just get under the arm that he's trying to attack you with and avoid when he throws things. I mean, I know it sounds obvious, but he's a big, hulking, kind of scary-looking boss, and he does a ton of damage. You can die in 2 hits to him on hardcore difficulty. So it's important to just take your time, be very patient, and eventually he will transform into his third phase, where the eyes on his chest are consistently exposed. Now, if you're on hardcore difficulty, I highly recommend waiting to use your flamethrower for this part. And the reason for that is because he just moves so much, and there's really no point in attacking anything else aside from his chest, and the flamethrower has a pretty decent range. Of course, if you have a lot of pistol ammunition, you're free to use that, but at the same time, you may as well just dump your flamethrower into him because this is kind of your last opportunity to use it in the game, aside from the final boss. And you also get a fuel tank in this room to restock it. So just keep that in mind. It's a strategy I like using. Now, I have seen a lot of guides where they actually get his eyes exploded one more time. And this will allow him to expose his chest one more time and deal a lot of damage, and then he will transform. But if you're like me and for whatever reason your aim is terrible and you just couldn't kill the last eye on his arm during his second run through, he will transform anyway after you deal a certain amount of damage. So he definitely just has like a normal damage counter. I guess the eyes are just your opportunities to deal bonus damage. Once he transforms into his third phase, as you can see here, the eyes on his chest are consistently exposed, and then that is your opportunity to just lay into him with the flamethrower. That's my recommendation. If you have ammo for your handgun still or any shotgun bullets, You know, I don't really recommend getting too close to him with a gun, only because he's a lot more aggressive in this phase. His attacks are mostly the same, except for the fact that he can pick up the pillars on the side of the room and chuck those at you. So just keep that in mind. He also has one eye on his back that you can also deal a lot of damage to, but the eyes on his chest are the weak spot. At least I think they are. Once you learn the pattern, this boss becomes pretty trivial. You have a ton of room to move around. The best way to dodge when he throws things is just get behind something else. Don't let him pin you into a corner. Really, the hardest part of this fight is the start, when you're kind of pinned in a corner to begin with. So at the start, just blow up one of the eyes, the one on his knee is pretty easy, and then you can move over to get the first aid spray. And that's sort of it. I'll let this fight keep playing out, and I'll try to think of other stuff to say about it. But the third phase really isn't that scary. He's a bit more aggressive. He obviously has these big thrashing attacks, so once you see him start winding up for that, just get away and just try to do something to him. And that about does it. If you guys have any questions or you're looking for any help, please leave a comment and I'll do my best to help you out. If you like this video and you're looking for more Resident Evil 2 guides, please subscribe to the channel so you get alerted when new guides go live. Alright guys, I'm SweetJohnnyCage. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.